Good morning and welcome to another installment of Glenn's Vintage Radio on YouTube. Today we have a 1937 Detrola Model 146, and the Detrola company was, as the name suggests, in Detroit, Michigan, and began manufacturing inexpensive, let's say, radios back in the Depression area. And the company was around from 1931 to 1948. And if you want to read a little bit about the history of the company, I suggest you look up Mr. Detrola on the Antique Radio Forum. He's got a really good write-up in one of the posts on the Detrola radio company. So I bought this radio online for 65 bucks, which I'm not sure if that was a good price or not, but it caught my eye. Had never worked on a Detrola before and thought, why don't I just bite the bullet and pick this thing up, because it looked like it was in pretty reasonable condition. So there's the plate on the back. And there's the faceplate. Like I say, it's in fairly good condition. But I decided I wanted to clean it up, so here it is in progress. There's part of it falling off here. There's a chunk out of the back of it that I repaired, and this is how it looked from the back when I originally got it. Somebody attached this, I don't know, device, let's call it, in order to have the ground from the radio and the antenna terminate on the back of the radio. Here's this chunk out of the corner. Again, front view. And there's the finished product. Fairly sharp looking radio, fairly simple looking radio, but it plays nicely, as you'll see in a bit here. There's the top side of it with 90 years of dust and dirt on it. There's the tube count, 5 tubes, 78, 687, 66, 75, 42, and an 80. And back then, a lot of the parts that were made for these radios were manufactured nearby. This is Rolla company speaker that was in the radio, and it's an electrodynamic reproducer. It sounds way nicer than simply speaker. Far more impressive. Here's the speaker in the radio. So the usual caps and resistors, some dog bones and that kind of thing. Not terribly complex, so that speaks to the fact that it was probably a fairly inexpensive radio. Never did look up what it would have cost originally purchased, but you can tell just by how it's built here that it was not terribly complex. Top side all cleaned up. And I should go back here and just, these tube shields, I've seen these, I think they're called goats before, but I've never really seen these caps on top of them, so that was kind of a new thing for me. And this one here, there's a third one, shield, but the cap's missing for it, so I'm on a hunt for that, and I think someone in the London Radio Club has one for me that I have yet to pick up. So there it is, finished on the bottom side. Some new electrolytics. Most of the resistors are in good shape. Capacitors in various places had to be replaced. Put in a Bluetooth device. This shows my first pass at it was just a single pole switch. I ended up putting a dual pole in here and cutting off the feed to the IF tube here, which I've begun to do more often in order to kill the IF section and prevent any bleed through when you have the Bluetooth or anything connected to the 3.5mm jack, so the AM doesn't bleed through to the radio. I had a shaft here that was, I don't know, short for some reason. I think this must have been replaced at one time, the volume control. So I took a piece out of an old terminal strip, pulled the metal out of the terminal strip, slid it over the shaft, added an extension, and used some JB weld to attach it, and I find that works really well. So there's the finished version of that. And here's the backside all cleaned up with all of this stuff removed, and little nice, neatly terminated here, the ground and the antenna. And I'd like to try and keep these speaker wires away from the tubes. Sometimes you see them and they're just laid right in here, and these things get pretty hot. So this is cloth covering on this wire, so I really don't think all that heat and the cloth go together. So I try to go out of my way in order to find a way to loop these things so that they cannot touch any tubes in the radio. This is basically the same insides, just on a different in a different cabinet. That's kind of a nice little radio. You don't see many of those. And here's another cabinet. It's in a console version. So we'll go over and check the radio out. So here is the radio in its finished state.
Responded to the collision on Bruce County Road 28, Bruce County Road 6 at around 7.
So try to time my videos anymore so that they coincide with news time because of music and its copyrights.
But there's still a lot of work to do removing debris. There's still concerns about arsenic in the dust and ash.
That paid nearly $7 million for a recent letter.
Of loved ones who are. It's been tough. We're having hard, but
Le 20 du conseil municipal. Discuter du sujet lors de leur réunion du conseil qui commence.
In favor of a non-binding resolution at the United Nations calling for an immediate
So that's it running on AM.
Israel and Hamas.
And you can give it a swing over to
but the vote at the UN represents a shift in Canada's long-standing position. Speaking
this is
from
what I've
Parliament Hill,
chosen to
Foreign Affairs
attach to the
Minister
3.5mm jack. There it's flipped over to the Bluetooth.
In heaven, and I guarantee you for them, it was spectacular.
So here comes some music, so I'm going to get into some copyright trouble. But anyway, it gives you an idea of how it goes back and forth between Bluetooth and the radio. So I'm going to flip it back to the radio. And because the switch kills the IF tubes in the radio, it takes just a second for it to for the tubes to warm up and for the radio to start again. So there's a nice radio from the 1930s, 1937 in particular for this model, and it was affordable yet nice and very functional radio for its time. The 1937 Detrola Model 146. This is my son's favorite radio, and it will become a present, Christmas present this year. So I'm kind of excited about giving it to him, and hopefully he gets lots of good use out of it over the years to come. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Glenn's Vintage Radio on YouTube.